All right,
Take
right
one.
now we have a not skirt steak, oh my god.
Flank steak.
A flank steak that has been marinating for about a week now. If you look right here, you can tell it's been kind of like charred off a little bit. What I'm gonna do to this steak, since it's been marinating, kind of charred off a little bit, I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of salt, just a little bit. It's got the marinade soaked into it. A little bit of salt each side. I have the pan going almost as hot as I can get. I have it on a 9 right now. I don't want it quite on high, just because of what's been marinating in. I don't want it to burn. All right, we don't want burn. Burn takes away the flavor from everything else. We're turning it down just a little bit, adding a little bit of mixture of oil, putting a little bit in the pan. We're waiting for the pan to get hot. And while we're doing that, and you know, a lot of the steaks, you know, I put a good bit of salt on, just a little bit. We just want a little bit. And guess what? Boom, that's it. I'm gonna flip it over to the next side. I'm gonna show you guys with steaks like this, with skirt steak, flank steaks, flat irons, a couple of steaks like this, I'm gonna show you how to properly cut them. Because there's a certain way you wanna cut them when serving them. And a lot of people don't know that. So if you look really, really carefully, you see the muscle fibers going in this direction.
Okay, let me get a close-up shot of that. You can see muscle fiber here, for example. You're in the light a little. There you go. You can see this muscle fiber here, this vertical line here. That is one of the muscle fibers. And that's a key indication. If you see lines going through your meat, that's a muscle fiber.
Correct. So what we're doing, oh, the pan's nice and starting to smoke a little bit. We're gonna sear it off real quick. You want to go against the grain whenever a beautiful sound.
Yeah, that's beautiful, loud, sizzling sound. Amazing.
We have this on a very, very high heat because I don't want it to overcook.
Which is, I'm gonna admit, is a little bit counterintuitive to say, to sear it off and not cook it all the way. You want it on a really high heat.
But the reason for that is that it's already grilled off. It's already hard cooked. If you turn on a low heat and start cooking it, to get the crust that you want on it, it's gonna overcook the steak, which is what you don't want, which is why we're using a high heat. If you haven't necessarily cooked it beforehand like this one has, I mean, you'd wanna put it on about a 7. You get a nice crust on it, cook through, this is a little bit thicker, you get a nice good little crust on it, it'd be beautiful. But since this is already cooked a little bit, and we still want that crust, we're putting on a 9 right now. 9 to high, beautiful way to get a nice good crust on it. Kind of caramelize the outside, but you have to be careful because depending on what you have marinating in it, if you have a lot of sugar in the marinade, it's gonna burn it. And when you burn it, it's gonna overtake the flavor of the actual steak itself.
Is that sugar marinade, sugar-based marinade?
Kind of, sort of, which is why I'm kind of cautious about it. I'm gonna put a very close eye on it.
Yeah. Okay, well, what's it look like now? Underneath there, it says drunk meat. Ooh. And you're mashing it down to make sure that it maintains full contact with the pan underneath.
Correct.
To form a consistent crust underneath.
Absolutely. If you put too much pressure on it, it's going to squeeze all the juices out, which is what you don't want. So I kind of
just barely push it down to make sure it keeps contact with the pan.
Yep. So it has an even crust throughout.
Yeah.
And see, you see this beautiful right here? Gorgeous. This is what we want.
Yeah. It looks absolutely phenomenal.
Even still.
Yeah. And this is more so going to be like a quick little video, honestly, about this.
Yeah, and like I said, skirt steak, flat iron,
they cook quick.
stuff like that, you know, it's difficult. If you don't work the meat properly, if you don't know how to use the meat properly, it's going to be, pardon my language, you know, you want to marinate it, you want it to be flavorful, you want it to have that characteristic, but in order to do that, you got to take care of it.
What do you think? Does it look good? It's looking good on both sides.
Almost there.
Almost there?
Give it 1 second. Give it another second.
And then heat goes off.
We'll put it right here. I'm
Yeah.
still very, very hungry. Probably not going to wait too long for it to happen.
Yeah. You honestly should wait a bit to actually start to cut into it.
One thing
Because
that you can do is take your butter, kind of nice and soft, just lay it on top.
just let it just gently melt.
Softly melt.
Well, the reason why you want to let the steak rest is so that way the juices inside of the meat don't just leach out upon being cut. Because right now the fibers are all tense and everything, right?
I mean, to a degree.
Yeah, I'll let you explain.
All right, so
yeah,
I mean, you always undercook a steak, regardless. You let it rest because all the fibers, like you said, are tensed up. Yes, I agree with that. And you want all the fibers to relax, so it's a little bit more tender whenever you bite into it. And I agree with that fact wholeheartedly. Well, it depends on what you're doing with it. New York strip can be a little bit tougher depending on what temp it is. You want it to sit there. Juices are going to come out of it. It sits there long enough. Trust me, it's going to happen. I used to take bread and dip it in the juices from leftover steaks. Like, I love it. It's delicious. It's going to happen at some point in time or another. But the whole point of letting it rest is to let it relax. Let it soften up a little bit. Because you can feel how tender and tough, to a degree, that is. But just letting it rest is going to let it soften up a little bit. Cutting it against the grain, it helps the meat to be more tender. There you go. Look at that.
and I'm pretty. Wow, that's actually really nice.
I'm doing this for a reason, by the way.
You are?
Yeah, actually.
Oh, you're okay. So you're like kind of shaving it off.
Yep. The more you shave it, thinner it is like that, the more tender it actually makes it.
Which makes sense because there's less material there to chew through.
That's the trick to cooking skirt steak and having it come out beautiful. No. I'm talking about skirt steak in particular.
Oh.
Be a really tough cut of meat, and shaving it like this is what makes it more tender. See this beautiful medium rare.
Yes, absolutely beautiful.
Beautiful color.
I'm
Cheers.
gonna steal a piece now.
Oh, gorgeous.
That is reminiscent of Bourbon Street chicken.
All right, this is what we're gonna do. Watch this.
Oh my god, that's beautiful.
A little bit of salt.
Hold up, what was in the marinade?
Not gonna tell you.
You can't do a cooking video and not give hints, at least, or at least like general ingredients.
It's not my marinade.
It's not your marinade? Oh, so you actually can't tell. All right, what would you recommend then for this kind of steak? What would you recommend in
This
the
is
marinade?
kind of like a teriyaki marinade. Do kind of like a Japanese vibe to it. Ginger, garlic, teriyaki sauce, scallions, onions. Kind of keep it to that guideline. It's very, very sweet. You can tell it has a little brown sugar to it. I prefer a little bit more spicier kind of mix to something like this. So instead of putting so much brown sugar, you need some in there to make the marinade itself. Oh, that's how you get that beautiful caramel color to it, and that nice, good dark brown color to it. Like right here, in particular, how you get that caramelization on it right here. Add some habanero, some jalapeno, or something like that to give it a little bit of a kick so it's not so sweet. All right, right here. I want you to take that one.
Okay, let's try it. See, I have a bit of a sweet tooth. Okay, and so as a result of me having a sweet tooth, so I like a little bit of a sweeter kind of take on foods, especially with savory. I love sweet and savory food. Like if it has a little bit of subtle sweetness paired with a very good savoriness, that's a good way to make me just like love it. What the hell are you doing to that steak?
Look how beautiful this color is. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, that is beautiful.
Oh, gorgeous.
But yeah, no, Ryan's not going to give out the exact ratios of ingredients for this.
No, I won't.
Because it's not, for one, it's not his marinade to give out.
Nope.
So, and that's fine. The important thing with this is experiment. Have fun. Because the flank steak and I think the skirt steak aren't that expensive cuts of meat, right?
Flat iron too.
Flat iron too. Those are really cheap cuts of meat, but they're so flavorful. The only things you have to remember are to cook it high and fast.
Okay, so all right, I'm gonna have to say something in there.
Go.
They're not necessarily flavorful. That's why you marinate them.
Yeah,
Skirt steak, flat iron, flank steak. The reason why you marinate them is because they're not the most perfect choice. They're cheap, which is the beautiful part about them. Skirt steak, fish sauce, oyster sauce, stuff like that. Even with the flank steak, you can use teriyaki, soy sauce. I mean, there's so many things you can do with it. I don't know. All right, so with a lot of tougher steaks, cheaper steaks and stuff like that, you want to marinate them because they'll break down the fibers in it. Like I said, cut against the grain, they'll get some more out of the steak than you possibly think. And you can cook stuff like this to rare and medium rare, even though people say you can't. It makes a gorgeous steak. Thank you. Have a beautiful day.
That's it? You're not gonna, okay.
No, I'll get over to the next stuff.
Yeah, that is true. Oh, what are we doing next?
I'll let that be a secret for next week.
Or the next 2 days from now. Next week or next 2 days. We'll see. See you guys next time.